too high of a level too early in his career, and that really came back to haunt him. He even picked up the AWP role in Fnatic when he was actually a rifler before that. I think he wanted to rifle, and I think that AWP mentality has now stuck with him because that's all he's been looked at being added to teams in the future, if I'm not mistaken. Just my thoughts on it. But yeah, like you said, he does have a lot to offer, and he's in some decent form right now, but still certainly room for improvement. Either way, didn't get to talk much about Preasy, and we're not going to get much of an opportunity in the pregame either because we're thrust straight into the pistol. Trav, first round is live.
It gives us lots of content to talk about in the eco rounds, so all good.
Yeah, it actually makes up for most times where we have to go into podcast mode, right?
True, it does. Yeah, I mean it's going to be obviously we'll get into more about Preasy in a little bit, but firstly we've got to talk about the pistol and the Vita, of course. It is Vertigo. It is the first map of this BO3, and Roy already answer with 3 lovely taps there, dancing around to the gap, even making it a 4th as well. ZTR not able to spam him down. Quad kill from Roy to start us off. And yeah, it has to be said that with Vertigo being Metizport's pick, it is only their 3rd most played map in recent times, but that's still 18 times, and they've only lost 1 in 12. So, and ironically, that one they lost was in the BO3 that they eventually won to qualify through the open quals to these closed quals. So they love this map, Metizport. So it's time for Preasy to see what they're made of. Ouch.
Oh, that is a meaty HE grenade, and it's actually the best case scenario because the HE tenderizes all of them, and then the SMG is able to reign supreme. My goodness, who threw that nade even? Was that a refresh nade maybe, or I don't even know where that came from. Doesn't matter. Dupreeh mops up. That's a lot of money at the hand of the MP9.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I think that might have been borderline 300 damage with 1 nade. That was insane.
I'd say.
Absolutely insane. Let's see what Preasy can do on Vertigo with their first round against the weapons, of course. 2 MP9s and 3 M4s in play.
Just trying to read into the success of Metizport on Vertigo. It's not a very AWP-heavy map, is it? And you'd say Metizport's core strength is their riflers. Adam B, susp, and Nilo. That trio of riflers is so strong. They have a huge amount of firepower behind them. And I feel like that's why they can be really good on this map.
Agreed. Oh, ZTR. Dupreeh trying to play the movement with the MP9, not working out for him. That Molotov may take the trade, but Nilo says hello. And Ultex will go down. Already, that's going to be the opening gun round in Metizport's favour. Refresh and Roy will have to save their M4s. And yeah, I mean, the streaks that Metizport have had, I mean, we can talk about how good Preasy had been on map 2, by the way, which is Inferno, later. But Metizport are loving Vertigo. Includes a 13-11 against Falcons, 13-7 versus Monty, 13-8 versus Spirit, and the 13-2 versus Ents, who, as we know, have the 9 core who adore Vertigo. So it's incredibly notable.
Yeah, certainly is indeed. Just trying to get a bit more information, and I'm just thinking in general about the tier 2 scene and thinking about the rifle cores at that level. I'm trying to think about where Metizport would rank in that, because honestly, I think that sort of in the teams who are up and coming and don't have some of the biggest names, I feel like this is one of the heavier hitting cores, you know, in terms of riflers.
Yeah, absolutely. I
mean, it's not names you would normally expect to be in that conversation. Names like Adam B and susp and Nilo.
Yeah, and even ZTR had a superb map earlier today against Ents. In that game I just mentioned, that 13-2, I think it was like 20-4 at one point or something. So they can all do it, especially on Vertigo. And of course, I mentioned the 9 core. That is exactly what made the 9 roster, they were 9, they're not Ents, what really put them on the map and gave them chances against some of the best teams in the world in the biggest events in the world, is having that specialty map. And it looks like Metizport are looking to try and do exactly the same thing.
Preasy also have a specialist map sort of in Inferno, I'd say. I mean, don't play it as much as they would like, probably because it gets bans a bit more against them, but they really got on it, and that's going to be the second map of the series, so both teams going to be feeling very comfortable in their picks.
TMB playing with the smoke. Obviously a little bit dangerous, but this time they've got the AWP in play. I mentioned that Preasy, of course, and the times I've casted them in the past, we know they're kind of AWPless, and they do switches between TMB and Refresh and Dupreeh. It's dupreeh who has it this time. It's a 2 for 2 as they make their way up ramp. 50 seconds, and they've still got enough utility to secure a plant.
Metizport can assume control here, and Preasy can't do much about that bomb plant. They're going to have to go for the retake. They don't have a kits in play. There's a smoke grenade, but there's no refresh. However, dupreeh will get the trade straight to the smoke. That's certainly going to make matters a bit easier here for the CT side. Susp in conjunction with Jackinho here. And that drop down would have been heard by dupreeh. Information relayed through to Ultex, and now it's only Jackinho left. 1 versus 2. Smoke on the bomb. Great shot coming through from the rifle. Ultex barely has any health in Jackinho. Oh, he's not wasting time. He's forcing the issue, but he's off his life up. Ultex doesn't have a kit. And why on earth is Jackinho gone for the gunfight there?
Yeah, I mean, that is very surprising for me that he's gone for that. I think probably the information would have been relayed that Ultex was very low off the back of the fights from earlier. But yeah, he had 3 bullets. He thought, okay, I just need to connect 1 of these 3 and I've won the round comfortably. But it wasn't necessary to fight that one so early. That's a give up from Jackinho, sadly, and he'll know it. Especially with that lack of kit you mentioned. He could have just wasted 5 more seconds and that would have been that. Could have gone for a fresh reload behind the edge of the ramp. Also has to be said as well that susp dropping off the railing, making noise in that little corner, gave up his position too. So yeah, small errors, but they contribute to a big round for Preasy.
Yeah, and I mean, that retake was looking really difficult. They just didn't have much going for them, but as you say, Preasy able to capitalize on 1 or 2 small mistakes and swing the tide in their favor. Metizport piece together a decent buy here. 2 SMGs, 3 AKs. They're not wasting any time as they transition in towards the B bomb site, but they've lost 2 for the price of 1. dupreeh's on point with the AWP. Support rotated through as well. Tough position that Metizport find themselves in, but they're still going to commit to the initial plan here. Or are they?
I'm a bit unsure of it, but they've still got this smoke up and they can use it to jump up of course, on the edge of the box. Nilo's going to be the one to choose to do that with the AK, but it's ZTR with the UMP to remove dupreeh from the equation. And there's the headshot from Nilo. He takes a dink from Roy, and that's what forces Refresh to swing. And somehow he's still alive. I have no idea how. ZTR will take it in the end, and now he knows where TMB is, but the health advantage is significant, and it's only a UMP. That was TMB's every day of the week. And they won't even take the AWP. That just shows you what this team's idea is at the moment. They are a rifling team. They don't really like running that AWP too much.
I mean, we are kind of seeing it cropping up a little bit in CS2. Obviously, Cloud9 are the biggest example of teams doing it at the highest level, or of a team doing it, should I say. Not having a, you know, historically traditional AWPer in the team. Boomage doing it most of the time, sort of juggling it every now and again. Preasy emulating that here as well. But I'm still not a huge fan, Trav. I certainly haven't been converted, I'll say that much.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people have been talking about how to fix Cloud9, right? They've had some rough losses.
Just pull out the blank checkbook for Monacy, man. By the way, CTR finds a way. Yeah.
That is one fix, that's for sure. Yes. I don't think that's going to be the fix they'll employ, but we shall see in the future, of course. Who knows?
I feel like Monacy would fix most teams, to be fair. Who are lacking an AWPer.
He could fix me for real.
Finds a second. CTR is fixing this round perfectly right now in his team's favor because they found 2 phenomenal opening kills on this B bomb site, and Preasy continue to contest. They don't really want to forego control here, but they will have to.
Yeah, and Roy incredibly stuck. Actually does well to deal with Nilo, but he's going to be out of there for a save on 10 HP. Good battle toward B, and as you say, mostly ZTR taking point first. Very nicely done. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Like, it is a weird thing to see AWP-less teams still. I think since the update came through from Valve a few weeks ago, of course, which kind of made the Pika's advantage not so significant, made the AWPs feel a little bit more comfortable, especially than what they did at the beginning of the game's release. We saw lots of AWPers struggling.
Yeah, I mean, the best of them all even took a break from the game.
Exactly.
So that tells you all you need to know, really.
Decent start for Preasy. This is a good answer back from Metizport. Of course, Preasy couldn't keep dupreeh's Counter-Strike major record intact, but they're still a scary team. it was an incredibly topsy-turvy game against Heroic in the upper bracket. They were 9-3 behind and won map 2, and were 9-3 in front on map 3 and lost. So
Yeah,
they could have been in a
that's
different
insane,
position.
actually. And they'd won, what, like their previous 6 matches before that. Obviously, 2 of them were best of ones, but Preasy were in phenomenal form going into that, and they shouldn't have let that slip. Now they find themselves, well, with their backs against the wall, no more lives on the line here in the lower brackets. And this is a pretty rough investment they have to work with coming into the 7th round as well, Trav. Up against the might of the AKs. Plenty utility for the B side as well.
Yeah, of course, they've run Orplus on this team, on Preasy, since they lost Nikodos to Heroic. So, of course, Nikodos playing against his former team in the upper bracket game. What's the difference in that? Who knows? Roy tries to hold a wide angle there, more of aggressive sort of angle in the corner to try and get at least a 1, but he gets removed. No sandbags presence for Metizport to worry about, but lots of 5-7s tapping away.
Yeah.
dupreeh, Deagle, the boost on top of the refresh will take Jackinho nicely, and there's still damage being done through these smokes, but it's only peppering. And now dupreeh down to 7 HP. Vortex rotating in, but how much can he really help?
I feel like the HE grenades are really important on the T side of Vertigo, especially when execing on either bomb site, just because you know there's a limited number of positions CTs can take up on this map, and
Yeah.
nades are just so valuable here. Especially against pistols. Just try and tenderize your opponents before you have to go up against the pistols. Make life a lot easier. I'm quite surprised Metizport keep 4 players alive there, frankly.
I am too. I think 3 of them were tagged below 40, or around that level. That breaks the 4 spy from Preasy. They're now down to the full eco, of course. So I'll take this opportunity to have a little bit of a chat about Altex as well, because of course we didn't get a chance to talk about Preasy in the pre-game. But yeah, I mean, Altex has been one of my favourite players who have kind of one of the ex-Astralis bunch, right? Truly talented, as we've seen from his days in that setup, but sometimes he can fall off a little bit statistically against the top teams. So in a game like this one, I really want to see him play really well and give Metizport a fright.
Yeah, the players was kind of just unfortunate that, you know, things played out the way that they did, but I feel like he's ended up in a really good spot right now here on this Preasy roster.
Yeah,
I like the players he's surrounded by, the likes of dupreeh, Roy, and Refresh. 3 very experienced players, some more than others, obviously, but I think Altex could really thrive here in this Preasy roster.
I like it. I really do like it. I think it was probably the best choice for him. Nilo does well.
Cooking up there, do you, Trav?
Say that again?
So do you like what they're cooking up there?
I like the recipe. Whether it can translate is another matter. We'll see. I do think Metizport are on a better trajectory at the moment than Preasy. Of course, Preasy were at the RMR. They did have a chance, but couldn't make it happen. Metizport didn't even get there to begin with. So that is the difference. You can look at it, I guess, that Metizport have had great games against the top teams. Monty, Falcons, even taking a map off of Spirit, of course, but Preasy have been at the RMR instead of them. Nilo got 4 kills in that anti-eco nicely before getting swung upon, so he's up to 9 now in this game. The most talked about member, I think, probably of this roster. Great nades into Altex, though. The B defender banking them off the girder, down to 11 HP already.
Nilo is the most spoken about player on Metizport, but I think that Adam B and susp just go under the radar as a result of that. It's kind of like the donk effect on Spirit with the likes of, you know, Zontix and, or maybe Shiro or Magix, but either way, let's see what's going to happen right now. Metizport have some control. Preasy are aware of the potential, but what are they going to do about it is the question. They've lost Altex and they don't have much utility left either, but the dupreeh will stand tall in towards B. Bombs had a lot more work to do. A 2nd kill, sure, but that control has now been lost.
That is probably the most dupreeh could have possibly done in that position as well. So, Altex being so low, that was the freebie. dupreeh in a tough position, having to worry about 2 angles. Somehow does get 2, and Roy and TMB are giving this a little bit of a look. Roy's actually stepping forward here. The help of a flash coming through, but Jackinho will put that one to bed, and now TMB, nothing in the bank. When I say nothing in the bank, two other of his teammates have also got nothing in the bank, so there's not much for Preasy to work with going forward. TMB needs to find a way to save, but might be difficult. I think he'll just be okay. Well,
keep in mind that Metizport do slightly favour, I say slightly, they quite heavily favour the T side of this map. 65% win rate compared to a 50% win rate on their CT side. So Preasy are going to have a more difficult time of it here on Vertigo in this first half. If they can just survive, they'll fancy their chances. And I think survive means 5. Less than 5 is going to be trouble here for the Danes, I think.
Yeah, that is usually the happy medium number, isn't it? Not even a 6-6. The happy medium is usually the 5. Even 9-3s feel very doable, and of course, Preasy will know all about that from earlier today against Heroic. Of course, a pistol and a conversion. Somehow you can be 9-6 in the blink of an eye. Another important opening kill from Jackinho that removes the saved M4. Thankfully for Roy, he's managed to recover that, but even getting this one-way smoke down, which I believe lands on the lip there, as you can see, just above Jackinho's vision. Sends the smoke down, whether it helps to progress forward and get more kills from this is another matter.
Yeah, it's about damage control right now for the T side, just making sure they keep numbers alive. Not that there's many more rounds to be played, I suppose. Economy not as important as a result. Of course, we haven't discussed the decider just yet of the series. It will be Ancient if we go to a third map, which kind of seems likely, right? Vertigo is such a strong map here for Metizport. They'll get across the line. Inferno, the map to come afterwards, is really good for Preasy. Not to say Metizport shouldn't be competitive on Inferno. And that means we'll go to Ancient as a third and final map, which should be on paper the most evenly contested map between these two teams.
Both have played at 20 in recent times, which is a lot. Both of these teams have been grinding away at some of these lower tier tournaments. And that's obviously just their HLTV played maps. Doesn't even count all the open qualifiers they've played in, of course, including the one for this. Of course, both these two teams were open qualified teams in tough brackets. dupreeh 1v3 with a deagle. We've seen magical deagle work in the past from dupreeh, but nothing of the sort this time. Nilo swings beautifully. Clean shot with the AK. Yeah, exactly. He's up to 13 and 6 now in this game as well. Did great work in that round especially. Sweeping up the AKs, throwing one off the map to make sure the Preasy players could recover it. Smart mid-round decisions and smart headshots too.
Yeah, clean, really clean coming through from the Metizport players so far, particularly Nilo. Big round for Preasy, lose this 7-4, and they're going to have to just force by what they can afford going into that next round. I think 8-4 is going to be really difficult to recover from here for the Danes. And it's not like Metizport have changed their playbook all that much. They have just been using susp and ZTR quite consistently towards the stairs to ask questions of Ultex. Applying some pressure in towards middle, haven't been throwing many fakes, haven't been taking the round too deep, just sticking to what works for them.
Yeah, it's nicely done.
Good kill out of sus, but whoa, dupreeh, what a response.
That was nice. Of course, he was that second man over on B for support for Ultex, but the damage done early on by the flames, of course, that we saw, them tanking that damage underneath the B stairs. Answering back, and oh, that's a lovely third on ZTR. dupreeh still has that dog in him, He's still got that little ability just to have rounds like this, and Nilo isn't expecting Roy to be pushed so far forward. So 3 free AKs to recover, and Preasy have a pretty good shot at a 6-6 half.
Yeah, he's still a relevant force for sure as Mr. dupreeh, and it's so good to still see him competing, right?
Indeed.
It was always rough that he got cut from Vitality after winning the major.
Legend of the game. You can't say for Vitality that necessarily turned out to be a bad decision, but...
No, of course not.
But still, I agree with you. Susp has seen the arm there, so he knows that there's some close aggression toward the B stairs on this final round of the half.
Metizport have done this well though, Trav, where they've taken this control consistently. They haven't allowed the Metizport, for Preasy to really push deep towards stairs throughout the round, and get the information as a result. However, this time it looks like Preasy will ascertain that control.
Yeah, nice little change up. I know it's only the last round of the half, but a good time to throw something different in, even though you've got full weaponry on a full gun round. Doesn't mean you can't try something a little bit more aggressive, and works nicely. It removes susp from that default position. A utility swap between Alltex and dupreeh, as I mentioned, the duo defending B. Metizport are going to try the same thing again. They're boosting Adam B up onto the plywood. And maybe trying a boost on the railing as well. I love this. It's one of their consistent ideas. Alltex still fighting against Nilo, but Nilo will catch him. Even while jumping up, and now dupreeh needs to be ready. And of course, he gets his one, but it's only one. 3v3, 30 seconds.
Still decent from dupreeh to get the one kill. He was mollied out into the open. And it looks like Refresh wants to force the issue here, charging through the smoke grenade right now. Oh, his aim is off. Jackinho just shifts to the left there, and that means Refresh misses the mark. 2 versus 3 in the last round of this first half. Can Preasy level up the scoreline going into their T side? It doesn't look like it unless TMB pulls off a highly unlikely 1 versus 3 clutch.
Yeah, he's got no utility for this either. Even though he's got 2 low HP players to fight, they now know where he's coming from. He's isolated where 2 players are. Time really is the problem, and Jackinho will put an end to it. Lovely quad kill from Jackinho. That's puts him up to 13 on the half. And Metizport will edge it ever so slightly 7-5. We'll see if they can complete the win after the break.
Listen when there's no sound. The wolves are out. Hold on to what you found. Days are deceiving. My head is spinning round. Oh, I hear now. Yes, the wolves are out. Inside of our reality. Satellites singing serenade. Send out a signal, please remember me. Send out a signal, come and set me free. I'll lose inside of our reality. Satellites singing serenade. Send out a signal, please remember me. Send out a signal, come and set me free.
An incredibly competitive half between Metizport and Preasy. Two of the best teams, of course, from Tier 2 at the moment. And you could argue that with Metizport's recent results, maybe they're Tier 1.5, but they need to prove that a few more times in the future yet. Great halves for Jackinho and Nilo. See if they can compound it to, once again, take Vertigo. They are loving this map as of late. What can Preasy do on the T side?
Added to the tally at this point of your Metizport. As you say, what can Preasy accomplish? It needs to be a big T side out of them if they are going to fight back here on Vertigo, and they'd love to open up with the pistol round win. Nilo's getting a lot of information in this forward position, and you can see how the pieces are shifting on the board as a result. Looks like Preasy are doing that thing where normally when you're playing matchmaking, they're like, come guys, let's fake rush A and then walk B, but they're actually still going to commit A here. They're hoping that Metizport start to think that it's going to be some sort of a fake A. They've now got Ultex applying pressure B. They're hoping that's going to now draw all those rotations back, and it's working. It's working by design right now. It's working wonderfully for Preasy. Everybody from Metizport has rotated off, but wait, the bomb was going B as well. They didn't commit to the plan, Trav. They second-guessed themselves, but they will still end up on A.
Yeah, they're so far forward on A, of course, as well. Actually, it's quite a nice strategy because by design, it gains the T side so much control on either side. But the problem is, when the dualies come in on the retake, it can be so hard to deal with. But TMB's done so much damage. He's the only one left. And now susp has to waste the time for ZTR to come in and help out. He can't get back round toward Gap. There was a chance for that. But ZTR finds it and will take the defuse as well. Nice try, TMB. He hits so much damage there.
My goodness. I mean, the plan was beautiful out of Preasy. Unfortunately, they just second-guessed themselves for a brief moment there. They wanted to try go back towards that B side because of the space Ultex had gotten. Then Ultex died and they had to recommit to A, and that gave Metizport chance to shift players back. So chaos. Chaos was the description or the word I would choose to describe that round. Of course, Preasy do get a bomb plant from the pistol they lose, so it's a pretty decent investment here for them in the next. Ultex bites his bullet, he gets utility, and Preasy are moving with pace right now into this B bomb site. My god, susp completely blinded up, gets demolished by TMB. Dupreeh chimes in with the frag of his own, and that's the round over. What a way for Preasy to answer back.
Love that from Preasy. Full W. TMB taking no prisoners. Rushing up B stairs there. And once again, the bomb plant on the T-pistol works out for a win. Off the back of his 2 kills this time as well. Well, he almost transfers to the Galil. TMB somehow takes Jackinho. One more bullet out of that last 5 from that spray from Jackinho needed to hit, but somehow it doesn't. So it's just ZTR saving. And 1M4 with utility Ks left over would be very important. And I feel like that's a little bit of an overface there from ZTR toward Gap. That wasn't necessary. Just put himself in the corner and made sure that M4 was still alive into the next round. But an easier one to overcome now, I would say, for Preasy in this response.
Absolutely. I mean, Metizport in their response are going to try and do to Preasy what was just done to them, but they don't have nearly as favorable of weapons to work with, right? It's upgraded pistols, 3 smoke grenades, and 2 flashes. That's all Metizport have. Preasy, that's a huge reprieve for them, winning that force buy. And I love the way they approached it as well, Trav. Just full aggression off the back of 1 flash, no hesitation.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, just committing to the plan. Even if you get blinded by a flash or whatever it is, even if you spot someone and get tagged, you just keep going because you know your teammates are following up, right? So you just got to trust the process.
And I feel like in those sort of rounds, they can be very often overcomplicated as well. And you can get punished for that. So the simplicity from Preasy and what is, I wouldn't say a simple map, but a map where those sort of plays are very viable and workable is a great idea, especially on a round like that. Great stuff. And it's going to confirm 8-7 coming in.
Bomb has been planted.
Yeah, just about keeping players alive now for Metizport so they can have at least some sort of weapons to work with in the next round. Successful for Preasy here. Depends how much they want to hunt. I mean, I don't think that there's really much of a reward here. The reward for them would be keeping all 5 players alive because that would just have a massive injection of cash to their economy.
I would agree with that too. Alltex, I think, was the expendable player with that MP9. But there's not really much need for them pushing him with these rifles. NTR, though, will get caught in a horrible timing. They will push for these Eagles. Of course, they would be removing the armor, so that's something. And they do remove the armor from Jackinho as well. So there's much less to be worried about in this following round when it comes to the full team. However, there will be an AK stolen by Nilo, so they have lost one rifle in that sense. But overall, it should still be easy, and it should still be an equalising 8-8 coming in.
Just got to approach this round with caution now if you're Preasy. I mean, really not many pitfalls at all, but Nilo does have an AK. Over towards that B-bomb site, just hoping that that's where they end up. Bit of a gamble from him.
Boost.
dupreeh is 15 and 10 right now, by the way. He's, well, tied for second out of the fraggers on the server along with Jackinho, so he's having a great run on both sides.
Yeah, he's loving life. I mentioned, of course, that he can still be a force to be reckoned with, and that is great to see. One of the legends of Counter-Strike history. And, of course, the present still. Susp finds Refresh, that's what they to keep over. And he finds dupreeh as well. Preasy don't seem like they are too concerned about building up their own money and are very focused on removing the saving players from Metizport. I do respect the aggression in that sense. Can Nilo keep his AK alive? 17 and 9 himself. Leading the server right now. I don't think...
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah, I don't think Preasy will want to throw away the 2 AKs either right now. They've got only 2 left, so it's fine.
8-all. Wasn't expecting to say that a couple rounds ago, considering the fact Metizport were, well, playing against a round that they should have won, I suppose. Preasy were able to get across the line with their force buy, and well, things have looked really good for them since then. If they get the lead here, 9-8, anti-eco thereafter, double digits ripe for the taking.
They're trying it again.
Off the back of that flash, yeah, and why not as previously?
Yeah, very fast B-stairs control and a very fast boost as well. Metizport put this into practice a lot on their T side.
Oh man, okay. Both teams just kind of feeling the round out right now. Nobody overcommitting. Nobody wants to make a mistake that could potentially cost the round. Adam B, I was hyping him up a lot coming into the series. He's 3 for 11 right now. Certainly going to have to up his game here to aid Metizport in getting across the line. Plays a vital role towards A ramp as well. As for Preasy, looks like they're just going to congregate outside this B bomb site and set up for the exec.
Yeah, again, a pretty decent idea. Take fast B stairs, then just wait about another 45 seconds. Keep Metizport guessing. Force rotations. But problem is, if they do still commit to B, have 3 players to fight. Make that 4. Metizport have guessed correctly here. And Adam B is waiting for that Roy lurk in mid as well. It's all going Metizport's way. Just too many men for Preasy to fight on the B site, and they're going to be forced to save, you'd think, in this round.
Yeah, really solid defense coming through from Metizport. They're just able to immediately put out any attack that was coming their way. Anytime Preasy attempted to try and get themselves into a position where they could shift in towards the site, they lost a player. Never able to gain any traction as a result, and it's going to be Metizport to just make sure that Preasy don't get a taste of the lead. Not tasting that sweet nectar today, at least not in that round.
At least not yet, indeed. And yeah, it is kind of interesting how that sort of mind game battle played out, right? It was almost a bit like an Inferno round where you're trying to force rotations on either side of the map. In this instance, for Preasy, they thought that the silence they had kept on B after the early take would have forced more away from B, but in the end, Metizport had 4 very quickly, as we said, and that one in mid. Of course, stopping that Roy lurk, but pace will be upped immediately off the back of it. Lots of noise being made towards ramp, and Jackinho fights brilliantly with 2. But Adam B will make sure that Jackinho doesn't go untraded either. 3v2 for the Swedes again.
Yeah, Metizport going to be pretty happy with the way that these fights have played out so far. Big contact coming in towards ramp early on. Normally dictates the outcome of the round. Preasy find themselves down by a man, but have some control to show for it. Altex and Refresh combining. Got a bunch of utility between them as well. The problem for them is 2 of the 3 Metizport players are over towards the A-bomb site right now, so find themselves on the right side of the map. Nilo taking a huge amount of damage to utility. He's down to just 12 points of health. His nade will answer back, but eventually he'll actually burn out entirely.
Are they aware, though? Are they knowers of Adam B? And they weren't. Quick flank around from Gap. And that's a huge kill. 35 seconds. Altex may have the bomb on his back, but it's going to be a tough one. Can he isolate the fight? The answer is right now, yes, he can. Susp, very smartly, is continuing to jiggle the elevator position. Altex realizes that they're not just going to peek him one by one. So goes for a plant. Then that's when he decides to duel against Susp. But susp is better on this occasion. Another big round for Metizport. Double digits first for them.
Yeah, and imperative timing as they find their footing here on the CT side as well, right? Because it looked like things might just start to slip away from them at 8-all, but they're able to win that vital round, drop 9-8. They follow that up with another round win, and Preasy are going to have to settle for an eco here, I think. Forfeit that 11th round for Metizport, and then look to contest thereafter. They have a little bit of money to work with to get some bits and pieces, and a Hero AK included in the mix. So there is some firepower behind them, but this is Metizport's moment. I like the call for a pause though, Trav. Because there's a lot you can do with a round like this as the T side, right? You got utility, you got some firepower. What do you conjure up?
Exactly. It's these sort of rounds, even if it's on a lower investment, you have to give it as much thought as the full gun rounds. These days it's not customary just to run in on full ecos with Glocks when you're on that econ position. Take your time, force the CT side to use their own utility so they have to repurchase it, and it's impactful later on. We have decided to sell a few things and repurchase different weapons and utility, so we do have an end result of double Tech 9, double P250 and 1 Deagle. Pretty fast ramp again, but MB gets a really nice settler before they rush up the ramp fully.
Yeah, it's kind of stifled the attack now for Preasy. It's looking to commit to it as they make their way forward. But okay, actually will be able to find a frag. Not a huge amount more on offer those. They continue to get picked apart as they make their way forward. So Metizport take the sting out of the round there. Adam B starting to come good. I mentioned a few rounds back, they're certainly going to require his services. And I think with him coming online, yeah, sort of coincided with the success. Maybe a few of his kills coming here in the anti-eco, I suppose, but that'll boost his confidence.
Ooh, we've seen Nilo hit some dirty swings. I know it's only against Refresh's Deagle, but that was nice once again. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a nice way to play that for Metizport as well, right? Other than those low econ rounds, when you're up against those Tech 9s, you can want to play safe because you want to lose those. You know you're supposed to win them, playing the ranges with the rifles. But I like teams, especially in that scenario that we saw there, sort of fighting fire with the rifle push. Honestly, that is the best way to deal with them sometimes. Bit of a triple swing toward ramp to stop them from advancing any further. It works out nicely. So 11-8 Metizport. Does their Vertigo streak continue? Or does Altex have something to say about it?
He's had quite a bit to say in these past few rounds, but needs a lot more to say if Preasy are going to make it work here on Vertigo right now. Susp playing towards the bottom of the stairs right now, catches dupreeh off guard, goes for a godly transfer, but he's not able to find the frag on either. That shifts the pressure onto Jackinho, the first responder on the scene right now, but he'll suffer the same fate. Great multi-kill out of TMB here, blows the door wide open on the round, and that's the job done for Preasy. Vital round is going to go their way.
Yep. As soon as Alltex took that opening, that's when more aggressive positions were obviously taken there by Metizport. And susp had a nice line, but it's the worst feeling when you have an angle like that. You know it's aggressive, you know it's dangerous, but the first player jiggles you and you can't completely kill quickly. Just get swarmed upon after that. And ZTR and Adam will try their best to save their 2 guns, but both now low HP after grabbing a kill apiece. I don't want to see Preasy hunt anymore here. They need the economy. 3 guns is what they should prioritise.
Terrorists win.
Well, they will be able to keep those 3 guns in play, as you say, and that keeps them alive here in Vertigo as well. Metizport still comfortably seated right now, up 11-9 on their map pick, but the job is not done just yet.
Indeed. Reminder.
Big moments in the game right now. Yeah, go for it.
Metizport have won 1 in 11 on Vertigo. That's including some great teams, of course, in the showdown and some tier 2 events as well. So, looking to keep that streak intact. 13-2 against Ents, 13-8 against Spirit, 13-7 against Monty, 13-11 against Falcons, and a streak of more tier 2 orientated teams like Sangal, Endpoint, Sprout, for example. The only loss coming in the open qualifier for this very close qualifier. But they ended up winning that BO3 anyway to qualify for this, of course. But Preasy are fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. Tooth and nail right now. They're giving us everything they've got. Going to try and make their way up ramp. Adam B quite lucky to still have his head intact right now. And he hears the footsteps as the players rampage their way forward, but he wants to fight fire with fire. He knows he's got the AK, so it's an even contest in terms of a one-shot headshot, but everybody's staying alive for the time being. Shouldn't be for much longer though. Roy now leading the charge as he makes his way forward, looking for a slight gap in the smoke, but there isn't one on offer. So he's going to take one. He's going to make one. But Adam B was ready for it.
Yeah, dangerous from Roy, but had to make something happen. He felt like he had to make something happen, and not possible. susp playing a very defensive line from next to the gen behind the ledge there, but he gets removed from Alltex, and suddenly 4 versus 3, 20 seconds left in the round as the bomb goes down. This is a very tough retake for Metizport. Adam needs a kill right now, and if he doesn't find it, kind of gets it on the fadeaway in the end. That probably gives him the incentive to still go for this.
Yeah, I'd say so. Low HP here on Alltex, particularly going to be making this difficult here for the T side. Jackinho is taking down TMB. He was the highest health player in the situation in this post plant right now. Incendio is going to be making life so difficult. Forces Alltex out into the open, but still able to hit an instantaneous headshot. That could take the heat off of Refresh right now. 3 frag onto Adam B. There's a kit in play on Jackinho, but it doesn't matter because Refresh will take off his head and Preasy continue to contest.
Okay, here we go. Metizport, a low economy on 3 players. Refresh with a big 1 versus 2. Time ticking. Jackinho could not find him. And that round, it has to be said, is thanks to Alltex, to be honest. I thought for sure that Incendio was going to spread on Whitebox there and just connect that 1 tick, which would have been enough to remove him from the round. But that's huge for Preasy. If they can overcome the Deagles and the 1 hero M4 here on Adam B, 11-all is in front of them.
Yeah, looking highly likely at this point that that should be the outcome. Unless Adam B can pull off something remarkable, but Preasy are giving this gears right now, man. Great to see the level coming through from them. 2 evenly contested teams locking horns here. Of course, both desperate to avoid being eliminated on day 1 in the qualifier for Dallas.
Yeah.
Both these teams managed to qualify for the major, so managing to qualify for an event of Dallas's stature would be huge for both the players and the org.
Exactly. Would be the 100th IEM, of course, as well. It's quite a prestigious Dallas this time around in the history of the Intel Extreme Masters. Preasy have cleared up this round very nicely. It was dangerous, but haven't lost a man just yet. And of course, their economy is still on a pretty low position on 3 players too. So if they secure this one with 5 alive, which it looks like they're going to do, that kind of sets them for the last 2 rounds of the game. And they'll be fine. Metizport 11-11. We're guaranteed at least the full 24.
Well, I mean, that's not entirely surprising, considering the fact that both of these teams are so evenly contested, right? Also, yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to split them. Jackinho, I suppose, you know, you would say is a recognized AWPer, but he has had his struggles with the AWP, and we haven't seen him AWPing a huge amount yet in this map. Preasy also don't have an, you know, open a through and through AWPer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of juggling the roles, so another similarity between these two teams we could draw upon.
Yeah. Most important similarity right now, of course, is the fact it's 11-all. And Roy going super aggressive. Oh, Jackinho trying to play behind what he expected to be more utility there, but in the end he ends up jumping straight into it. It looks comical. I'm sure there was a thought process to that. And TNB, oh, through the smoke on Adam B as well, just a spam from the bottom of ramp. Metizport trying to fight for it after losing that kill early, and look at the amount of map control they've given up thanks to that. Nilo gets shocked by the fact there's already a player in elevators too.
Yeah. And there's a player coming through from CT. They're just all over. They're sprawling all over Metizport right now. It's only susp left, and the only thing he's thinking about is saving his gun. TNB won't be able to deny that, but knows where he is now, and it looks like Preasy went a hunt for this. My goodness, look at dupreeh just charging his way forward right now. Susp has a very tough job on his hands here to try and save his gun and see dupreeh, but his teammate clearly relays the info through that, mate, someone's on your screen right now. Preasy gonna get themselves up to map point on their opponent's map pick on Metizport's stronghold, and they're giving this everything they've got to try and get the last kill, and understandably so. They've got enough money to buy in the next round, Trav, and Metizport barely have anything to work with.
Yeah, Preasy were super aggressive at searching for these saving players early on in this half.
Terrorists win.
At some point, I thought they were a little bit too aggressive on that, for the sake of their own economy, but this round certainly makes sense to try it. They almost find him, but susp saves a critical AK, and Preasy have a chance to take what would be a against the grain Vertigo off of Metizport. As I said, they've only lost 1 in 11, dating back to the first map they played this year on the 25th of January on this map of Vertigo. Would be a bit of a turn up, but Adam B gets off to a good start to try and fight for OT.
Really important kill coming through, but that frag is negated. The crown jewel of Metizport has been removed from the equation, and he will now sit on the sidelines. He will watch on and hope that his team can get the job done here and force us into overtime.
Nilo will be so frustrated he's given up his life there. And Adam, of course, he was fighting on the edge of the building there toward the previous round. And he got just straight up spammed through the smoke. So impressive mental fortitude, I guess, to play the same position once again. He gets 3 from it. And with ZTR swinging with the MP9, it looks like we do have overtime. And it feels right as well. These two teams have been inseparable. Reaver will make some noise jumping on the sandbags as well. Can't make that jump up on the corner. Sandbags player, of course, all about that now. There's the swing coming through, and he's done so much damage. If Refresh finds a way to even get 1 more kill from this position, I would be very surprised. Extra rounds. It's 5 HP away.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way Refresh can take this job in regulation. Not with the health he has at his disposal, not with the amount of time that's left on the clock. And it's taken Metizport a lot of work, but they will get this cross into overtime. Don't think they would have expected to even find themselves in overtime, but here we are, 12 all.
Damn,
Funny enough,
super impressive.
Trav, these two teams have played against each other in a best of one before, and that did end in overtime. That was in February on Nuke, ended 16-14 in favor of Metizport.
Yeah, looking forward to see if that changes up this time around. I think we've got some toilet breaks coming in. Quick tech pause. Don't blame them. Maybe not. It was very quick.
Wow. Yeah, too quick.
Too quick. Too quick for a toilet break. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's worth saying now, of course, that people probably expected Metizport to take this map. They still might, but they've played a hell of a lot of Counter-Strike recently, and maybe there is I wouldn't say burnout yet, because there hasn't been a huge amount of travel involved in it. I think it's the travel that really burns teams out, but yeah, they have played a hell of a lot in the last few days. Hasn't been a day without officials for Metizport, so when does it catch up to them? That is the question. Straight into overtime, let's see what they can do.
Yeah, again, Nilo's the first player to fall here for Metizport. That's 2 consecutive rounds now. As you say, Metizport have been playing a huge amount of Counter-Strike lately, and they're struggling here in this round as well. Jackinho's going to push forward, but Refresh is waiting on the other side of the smoke, and, well, I mean, Metizport, everything's just fallen apart for them here in the first round of overtime.
Probably thinking we should have done this in regulation. We knew we had a favourable buy to go up against, but not this time, and more work to come through. But of course, that is sometimes the equation, right? Such fights for his life and toward the zigzag there, but removed by Roy. Of course, in Metizport, you've been questioning what's going to work for you on CT. There's been a few rounds dotted in, of course, but Preasy have been the more dominant on the second half.
Yeah, they certainly have been, Trav. They've been good throughout the map so far, but they've gotten better as the game's gone on. Had just 5 rounds came in going to their CT side, and they were able to get themselves up to map point. Now they find themselves with a 1-round lead in overtime.
Ooh. Surely doesn't stay alive for much longer. No, Roy catches it. Thankfully, ZTR is there in support this time. Retains that man advantage for Metizport. Once again, the fighting back and forth on ramp has been impossible to call, to be honest, in this game. Sometimes Adam B will just get sprayed straight through a smoke. Sometimes he'll make a triple kill happen. Sometimes he'll go 1 for 1. There's been no consistencies, and it just shows how closely matched these two teams are. Nice shot from Jackinho, and that should put an end and make it 13-all.
And I really love that we've got such a evenly contested game in our hands when there's so much on the line, right? This is what it's about, Trav. Two teams who are in decent form, and two teams who would love to qualify for this event. And it's going to be a leveled up scoreline once again. Good luck splitting these two teams, man. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. And you say, of course, wanting to qualify for the event. I mean, it's going to be a long, long run through that lower bracket, of course. Loser is eliminated. Winner goes through to play the loser of VP and Apex. They're currently playing in the upper bracket right now. That's 4-2 to VP in the map, the opening map. Heroica 12-10 up on Ents as well. That could be first map going their way. The other upper bracket of the game. Oh, goodness me. And in this Vertigo, Team B, so much damage done by the Flames. Somehow manages to take Adam.
Yeah, good way for Preasy to start off the round here. They did get their opening kill in the previous round as well, though, Trav, and they weren't able to convert that into the win, but they will find a second follow-up frag, and that's blown the door wide open on this B bomb side. They're going to assume full control. Of course, it is the last round of OT, so Metizport will have a crack at the retake, but it's going to be so difficult ZT are brought down below half health as well. How on earth do they make this one work?
It's the worst feeling when you know you have to go for it. But yeah, I got some flashes. Maybe set up a few plans here. Nilo, of course, close to that smoke. Having to check it because he's not aware if there's a player pushed up close. But here come the flashes to try and send them in. It's going to be a bloodbath, unfortunately. And as expected, Preasy take the 2-1. Roy gets the double to finish it off. He's up to 23, and now he is the one leading in the server. As I've said to you before, Hayes, 2-1s in overtime can often breed more 2-1s, and it can go on for a much, much longer. We'll see if that's the case as they switch over to CT for what probably will feel like first time in an age.
Well, I mean, Trav, I'm strapped in for the long run here, man, because this series could really go the distance.
Yeah.
There's a lot on the line, so both these teams are going to be giving it everything they've got, as I've said already.
I love it, yeah.
Small margins can make a big difference in these sorts of situations. dupreeh's going to open up with an AWP here. How much did we actually see the AWP on Metizport here on their CT side? Because I don't recall seeing it much at all.
Yeah, it seems like they are pretty comfortable to go AWP plus as well on a number of occasions, even though Jackinho is their primary. We've seen, of course, they've been hitting some nice shots, even with the rifle, as Jackinho in this game. Did a few small mistakes, but a couple of big rounds. I think the 4K to end off the first half comes to mind. And now Metizport on the attack. If they clean sweep it, 3-0 on the tee off overtime, they will take the game 16-14. But Preasy with the slight advantage at the moment. We're on the CSGO scoreline for at least the next few minutes.
Yeah, nostalgic.
Yes.
I can appreciate that.
First to 16.
15 all, and then it's OT number 1 in CSGO terms.
Yeah. Counting up the OTs.
Just trying to confuse everybody who's watching right now. Not just keeping you guys on your toes. That nade does a lot of damage in Ultex. He could try and capitalize on the damage done. Good position taken up. As soon as Jackinho tries to boost himself up, he falls prey. And then, well, it's actually Ultex, excuse me, who's got both of those kills. Finally, there will be a response.
Yeah, Ultex has been fighting for his life on B on a number of occasions. Remember, of course, he was double naded playing white box earlier and often got caught off guard a couple of times. This is his first significant defense, it feels like, of B. And it's such a big time of the game as well. Managing to double down this time.
Right, well, let's see. They're going to be committing in towards the safe bomb site. Yeah, indeed, a numbers deficiency for Metizport, but Preasy have 2 players over towards A, and it's a fairly detached setup right now, so there could be a way for Metizport to still make this one work. One smoke going to be enough to completely blockade the site itself. dupreeh wants to drop that HE, wants to drop the hammer as soon as he gets info. Bomb plant comes through. Just the question is, where does Nilo plant? He's going to be planting in an alternative spot, but kills still continue to come through for Preasy as dupreeh dropping it down, man. 2 great kills out of the AWP, and Nilo will lose his life as well.
Oh my goodness, that was the main problem there for Metizport. Preasy had 3 HEs. That actually was a default plant. They would have just blown it up instantaneously, but even though it was a plant in the corner that was safe, damage was too much for Metizport to deal with, and dupreeh gets a lovely second as well there. Doubling down on what Ultex managed earlier in the round, and it gives Preasy some map points to work with. Super impressive from Preasy to battle back from basically what felt like a deficit the whole game until they reached map point in regulation. Metizport have been the kings on Vertigo lately, but Preasy, I said, they were no pushovers, and they're proving as such.
Absolutely, been really good form from them here, getting better and better as the game goes on. 2 map points to finish off the job here on Metizport's map pick. They had 1 map point in regulation, except that was on the T side. See what they have to offer from here. Oh, Adam B didn't really get the memo that there was a net into the smoke there. 28 damage from a teammate's grenade.
Crept up pretty quietly though, and that could mean some damage done. B and Nilo again, a couple of frags. Refresh fighting for his life. So messy. Oh, I've just physically cringed. IRL. That is a shame. That is a shame for Refresh. and it gives Metizport a chance here. But of course, dupreeh trying to go for some of these smoke bangs. If he can connect with one of these, the round could very much be on, because his NCR 17, susp 9 HP, but a nice angle held. And Alltex is left spamming the smoke to try and recover 3 more kills. It's looking unlikely. Little right-click smoke on the corner, of course, going for this. Absolutely should. Jackinho caught, but
man.
couldn't finish off the kill. And in the end, Metizport sneak it. Just.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Refresh. I thought he was actually in a position to swing when his teammates Sandbag and Top Ramp were taking the contest, and he might have been able to catch 1 or 2 players off guard, but I think he had maybe fallen back, didn't quite exactly catch what had happened from his perspective. Either way, Metizport with another chance to force another set of overtime. Or will Preasy avenge the result of Nuke last month where they lost 16-14? Can they inflict that exact result here on Vertigo?
One round needed for Preasy. 1 round needed for Metizport to give us more rounds on Vertigo. And this time Metizport are changing it up quite a lot. We haven't seen really much toward mid, other than occasional lurks. We're going aggressive this time. 4 players going to be charging through the fire and flames. Goodness me, you can barely see a thing through that smoke and flashes. And Refresh is going to try and double down. Only gets 1, but they spring on susp on the B stairs nicely. And with Roy taking Jackinho, that might be enough, because the HP on ZTR and Nilo is so rough. Last option for them is to walk through this elevator smoke and try and go for A instead.
Yeah, man, such low health ZTR, just 22 points of HP, 1 versus 3. And it's not gonna happen. Oh man, TMB finishes off the job, and Preasy will indeed get that 16-14 result, Trav. Ridiculously close, but a huge upset win for them on Metizport's pick of Vertigo.
It absolutely is, and I've got to say, I've got to give them huge props, right? I mean, we saw earlier today that they...